Tell me about your experience in my coaching.
My experience in your coaching is, first off, you are one of the best listeners I've ever encountered, and it's something that I am still working diligently at becoming myself. You've helped me, just speaking for myself, get to the answers I'm looking for externally by asking me questions, and I get to the answers that inside myself. You never answer anything for me. You ask the right questions or guide the conversation to where I answer it for myself. And it's a confident answer when it comes from yourself. You know it. You hold people to high standards, which can be intimidating for certain people, and it was for me at the very beginning, but at the same time, it's very empowering, and it breeds confidence as well. And I mean, obviously your experience and knowledge and just your true passion and love that is obvious, that comes across when someone's dealing with you, that is what, it helps anyone that's working with you or that's, taking your leadership course, know that there is the utmost sincerity and just genuine kind-heartedness behind what you're doing. And it's been a blessing to me.
Thank you, Josh. You have been a blessing to me as well.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Not too many people you work for and then still remain friends for, and I look at you as one of my best friends, and you are certainly, anybody that knows me that I talk business with, or they've heard your name, because you have been one of the greatest mentors in my life. And sometimes it might be saying something to me that's hard to hear, but it's something maybe I'm denying, or being that nurturing ear and that nurturing confidant that someone needs during hard times as well. And it's just you. It's the way you are.
Thank you. So how did the coaching affect you as a father and a husband?
That was, I wouldn't say probably, that was most certainly one of the biggest aspects, because it is a direct correlation from leadership in business to leadership in your home life, and all the same principles apply. And for me, it's been one of the most profound things of just taking all those same value sets of, setting a good example, being honest, somebody that someone wants to follow, and being that for my children and for my wife. And it's impacted, well, not just me, but them. And I can see in my wife now, her ability and what she's learned to be able to lead, whether it be our kids or her friends, and to see the confidence and the strength that she's grown from this. And I know that was directly correlated to the strength that I got from the coaching sessions with you.
Great. Anything else you'd like to tell people about that? Why they might want to consider being coached by me or being mentored by me?
Well, certainly for a lot of people, just speaking from people that I deal with and that are in my circle, it's sometimes scary to reach out to a leadership coach or a mentor or just somebody that you don't already know. But, taking that first step is the biggest thing. And I would say that there's so much information out there, but, we're overloaded with information, but people are just thirsting for knowledge. And with you, true knowledge comes with it, but not just the knowledge, the sincerity behind it, the expertise behind it. And I guess my advice for anybody advice for why they should reach out to you for coaching is, it's changed my life, not only from a business standpoint, but it also, as you know, have brought me out of some tough times. It's changed my life from my family standpoint. It's changed my life from the way I look at myself and my confidence. And once again, it's all stuff I had in me. You just walked the path, and there's a comfort about you, Henry, that I don't think many people would not enjoy the emotion and the energy that you give off. And so I don't even know if I answered your question. I'm sorry, I got emotional and started rambling there.
I got it. It answered it to me. I got it. So very nice.
Well, but I want to be able to give good advice to somebody on a video, and give you something to be able to use.
You have, though. I mean, you really have, Josh. I mean, because you're talking authentically from your heart, and that's all people want to see. It's not staged or coached or anything like that. It's just you talking about your experience.
Well, you look also, you get it. You can tell so much from intuition, follow your intuition, and anyone that looks at you, you can tell you're obviously a happy guy, you're an intelligent guy. You can see that when you speak or, with your breadth of knowledge that you have, but someone really has to have a session with you to truly see the passion and the fire that you have behind it as well. And that's the thing that I love about you. That's one of the things I love about you, is that you have it in yourself, but you're able to kindle it in other people as well, and you have in me. And then it just spreads, because I've done the same thing with others and my family and people that I work with and friends and confidants, and it's contagious. And so I guess one thing I would say is that people need to consider is it's not only going to benefit them, but it benefit anyone that they love or anybody that they come in contact with.
Thank you. Perfect. And that is my objective.
And you're
my
doing
mission. That is my mission. I've sometimes described my mission as to anybody I meet, and I mean anybody, and it could be 5 minutes or it could be 5 years, is their life will be different out of meeting me in a good way, in a way they're happy with.
And what a blessing to give people.
Yes. And what a blessing that I've received from others, that I'm able to share the same exact way.
I was reading a book by Deepak Chopra.
Oh, yeah.
Recently, but it said, give a gift to everyone when you go to meet somebody or you go to their house, they invite you somewhere, and it says, not a gift that you don't have to bring material things. The gift could be a prayer for them, or just saying, I wish this person happiness and health, or just an uplifting spirit you bring into their presence. And you most certainly give those gifts very generously.
Thank you.
And I like to give those myself. And I think that's another thing that drew me to you, is when I talk about people seeing how, the authenticity in it, because there's also so many rah-rah motivational snake oil, what do they call it? Motivation porn, or, it's just, let's go make money. Well, that's all well and good. Not really. That's not going to breed happiness. And what you teach are the lessons in life to not only achieve the material things or the, levels or the levels of success or titles or whatever it is, but also what you teach and what you spread is how to truly reach happiness and know the first defining what happiness is for you or what you're trying to reach for that happiness, and then having the tools to get there and the tools to get back up when you ultimately do fall down along the way.
Yeah.
I've become much more resilient and tenacious since I've met you. I was always a tenacious salesperson, but I was a emotionally very weak person of getting down or depressed, and I don't know if some of that comes from that car accident I had back in 2010, and I still have some of it that I deal with, but now I've got a lot of confidence and a lot of tools that I'm able to overcome that when it does raise its little head up.
So to give people a sense of who you are in the world business-wise, kind of describe honestly, completely, because I know you're a humble man. I want you to describe what you do and the impact you make in the world and business right now.
Well, I'll go into more detail, but in the short note of it, what I do is ensure, in the transportation industry, so with bulk transportation, whether it be rail cars or UN portable tanks, ISO containers for international bulk transportation, I ensure the safety of workers involved with it, product stewardship of the chemicals, whatever that might be, liquid chemicals that are shipped in these tanks. And so I work with all the major chemical companies, petroleum companies, whatever it might be, everything that's out there for bulk transportation sealing management. So not having leaks of ethylene oxide or whatever it might be. So it's engineered fluid sealing management. I need to find a better way to describe what I do.
Well, it's almost like playing the game of saying publicly the impact you're making on the world through your occupation, through your.
Well, I feel like an asshole, honestly, sitting there touting myself up to say more than that. It's like, man, I feel like
No, but there's a place for that. There's a place for people to get, because anybody listening to this interview or whatever we call this we're doing, but they would get the measure of you just through your authenticity and sincerity and love and who you are as a man. But it's always nice to put out there the impact you're making. You're making a huge impact in your family and community and everybody you touch. I know that. You've talked about that. But it's like in the business world, you are a force to be reckoned with. I mean, I know when you go to one of these big conventions with 2,000 or 3,000 people there, you are one of the people that people want to talk to. They love talking and hanging out with Josh because you are a man of integrity. You have a message that they can count on what you say is truthful, and that you create value for them and what they're up to in their business.
What's been interesting that I've noticed over the last 2 years is, I've been going to these big conferences for years now, and started out that I was a new guy and didn't know a single person, and pulling out my cell phone, acting like I'm getting a phone call because I'm too nervous, standing there because everybody else is in their little group. It's been very, very humbling, and I can't even explain the emotion now of people that I look at as that are big players in our industries and high level people. Some of them now coming up to me saying, "Hey Josh," and I don't even know their name, but they know who I am, and me having to go figure out that, oh, this is the senior vice president for X company here. That's been a very humbling experience as well.
Yeah, you're a mover and shaker.
Now I'm going to step into the presentation side of it. I'm going to be one of the keynote speakers at the Canadian Crude by Rail Conference this year in Calgary in September. And I'm not sure how many people attend that, but it's going to be a 30-minute presentation on the importance of a strong fluid sealing management program. Because obviously that goes into everything. Money talks from the monetary side of it. Companies lose trillions of dollars in lost product or product that is contaminated and has to be lowered down in what quality level it is or what it could go into for medical use or food grade or whatever it might be. But also the millions or trillions that are lost due to lawsuits or fines or environmental cleanup. So, that's a big aspect of it as well, of course. And so truly making that impact of, first off, the safety of eliminating, looking at all the variables that cause these leaks that kill people, whether it be due to inhalation of toxic chemicals or splashing onto their skin. Knowing you're really doing your part to help keep people safe is the biggest thing, but to keep these critical chemicals moving, whether it be for international trade or domestic trade, that goes into everything that for our daily life, whether it be this computer that we're on, everything here that's around any of us come from all these bulk chemicals. And to keep those moving, keep people safe, and also keeping the dollars down, because obviously that gets moved straight to the consumer. The more that these big companies are having to spend on these lawsuits or environmental cleanups, I really do not just feel I know I'm doing a great thing, and I don't just enjoy my job, but it feels good knowing that it's not for nothing. There's something valuable behind it.
Yeah, that's your why. You got a bigger purpose, right?
Yes, sir.
You got a bigger purpose as a father, bigger purpose as a husband, and you have a bigger purpose. What's your title now?
Senior National Ride Tight Consultant. Ride Tight being our trademarked program.
Okay, that's a pretty big title. I like that.
Yes, sir.
And that's not the end for you. I know that too.
No, actually, I've been talking lately with my leadership team, because since I deal with the bulk chemicals going to Asia and Europe and all over, I don't know why national is in my title. I want to be the senior international or senior global Ride Tight consultant.
Perfect. I like the way it sounds. It kind of rolls off the tongue.
It does. But what's funny is, before I met you, because I was, I'm a salesman, and I know that has a bad connotation to a lot of people, salesman, and I even have to bring that up sometimes. But what it really comes down to is effectively communicating with people. And if you're a good salesman, you're not selling snake oil. You're doing what helps people, what's good for your customer. maybe not making a sale if it's not good for them, so they know they can trust you always. When I first met you, I was a hard charging salesperson. And what was my why? I wanted to make a ton of money. I didn't know why. I knew I wanted to drive nice cars. I wanted to have nice things and boats and but beyond that, I mean, how shallow and superficial of a person was I? And I feel I'm a very deep person, but I realized like that is what you get caught up in. So many people in our society get caught up in that, and they want to be rich, but what is rich?
Yeah, rich is on the inside. It's not on the outside.
And the less you chase that stuff and you're doing the things the right way and really fulfilling your values and your mission and making yourself happy and those around you happy, well, the more that stuff starts just coming to you easily and effortlessly.
That's cool. That's cool. There's so many reasons I love you and admire you, brother.
Well, I'm just trying to be like you, Henry Chidgey. You are a man to admire. I tell you, you got it going on, and like I said, you exude happiness, and everybody that comes in contact with you knows that guy is of anything. He has fun, he's genuine, he's caring, and he does everything with love.
Yeah. Yeah, I think love is really what makes the world go around. People lose sight of that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Love makes it work. Really makes it work.
We've got that quote up in my kitchen on one of those boards. Not quote, that Bible verse. And everything you do it with love.
That's right.
Because if you're doing it with love, it's got to be the right thing, or at least the right intentions are behind it.
Yeah, that's right. And you may make mistakes, you may make errors in judgment. There may be, and we all do. I mean, that's the human condition. But with love, it works out. It really does work out. It's all designed to work out if we use love.
Something I didn't think about earlier, and I don't know what question this would have gone with, but I just remembered something that I did learn from you also is, and I don't even know if you ever really said this directly or if it's just from me through our coaching sessions, just seeing how you deal with things or your viewpoint, but not putting so much emphasis on the outcome, but more putting it on the activity and the action. Because that's where true success is the actions you're taking and what you're doing and the steps and everything. And you can't control the outcome. There's so many outlying variables that can change things. And then if your outcome doesn't happen, well, you're putting so much emotion into that outcome, well, then you're defeated versus back to the activity and the action. Well, this changed. Well, now it's back to this. And that's where you can always be successful with your actions and activity and mindset.
Yeah, and you're in a place where you can pivot if you need to.
That's right.
So like you run into, I don't know if you've come across that book, The Obstacle is the Way. It's a great book. But it just, Cliff's Notes version, it's like our paths are determined by the obstacles we run into. So it's like the obstacle is not an obstacle as much as it is a mile marker on our path, because we had to figure a way to get around it or over it or under it or something. As long as we didn't let it stop us, it is the way.
I like that.
Isn't that nice? I mean,
and it is a mile marker. I like the way you put that. I mean, you look at those obstacles where, I had to go here and then change direction. Well, that's just your mile marker for where your trail went off.
That's all. It's almost like somebody sailing. They've got to tack into the wind in order to get where they're going. So they're constantly going back and forth. They're never going straight to where they're going. They're always, in order to take advantage of the wind, take advantage of what's there, they got to be a little off course in order to get that advantage.
I like that. It becomes fun. Another thing that I learned from you is through your leadership courses is what used to be stressful or anxiety triggers for me then became fun. It's almost like a game that, this is interesting that this happened. Okay, well, here we are, objectively speaking. Now, where do I go from here?
That's right.
Instead of letting it consume you that, oh, poor me, this happened. It's just another thing.
That's right.
And how can you ever lose if you're looking at it that way?
You never do, because you never quit. You and I've seen lots of people I've come across people that are not very smart. They sometimes don't have very good leadership skills. And yet, because they never, ever, ever quit, they've achieved financial success. They may have other things that are not successful, but the financial success, they can do it because they never quit.
Well, and that tenacity is what it takes. The tenacity to keep learning. I mean, that would be another thing if you're asking me what's my advice to somebody of why they might want to take your course would be, why not? You know, like if you have all these tools at your disposal, why would you not take advantage of this? And I know some people can say, they look at it and say, well, you know, that's just somebody saying that. But I know that I'm very grateful. You've been my coach for years, and the impact it's had on me has changed my life, my family's life, and the life of those people around me tremendously, and still does. I've only touched the tip of the iceberg, and I'm just now really starting to dig my heels in, and I'll never stop. It'll be a continuous learning until I die. And what legacy do you want to leave behind? And I think about that so much. You know, it's something you've talked to me about. You know, what do you want somebody to say about you at your funeral?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a very valid thing to think about, because I mean, how do you look back from right now? Well, I'm in the present, but talking about my funeral, I know what I want people to say, and so I can adjust my actions and my values and my core beliefs to fit that mold. You know, when it's leadership coaching, it's really, I mean, it's dubbed leadership coaching, but Henry, I think what you really do is it's total life coaching. It is coaching that is pertinent to every aspect of your life, from your relationships to the financial success aspects of it, to the successes in personal aspirations, whether it be sports or, you know, whatever ladder it is you're trying to climb in this organization. It doesn't matter what field somebody's in, what industry someone's in, they're going to take away valuable life lessons from your leadership.
Thank you.
That's
what success looks like to me when that happens.
You're doing a good job being successful.
All right. Thank you, brother. Well, I just want to thank you for your graciousness with your time and your words and everything else, and having this conversation today. It means a ton for me. Whether this gets used, where it gets used, or what it does, this has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, Joe.
Well, thank you for the time to do it. It's been wonderful for me, because I've gotten to say to you some things that maybe I've wanted to say and that just hadn't come up. And so it's been great having this platform to just, which I always tell you how I feel, but maybe to really get in depth with it. And so I've enjoyed this opportunity to just open up and just, you know, lay it all out on the table of how much you mean to me and how much you've done in my life. And devoting this little amount of time is nothing. I'd do whatever you need, because I truly don't even feel I could pay back what you've ever, and I know you don't expect payback, but I could never pay back to you what it is you've done in my life. And I value you as much as someone can.
Thank you.
I love you, brother.
I love you too, brother. All right, you go give the wife and the kids a hug. Tell them Uncle Henry wishes them all the best, huh?
You got it, my friend.
All right, you take care now.
All right, talk to you later.
Good night.